Every single second spent trying to pitch investors without warm intros feels like hitting a brick wall, like shouting into the void and hoping someone hears you. The cold email, the LinkedIn message, the just checking in. Hours wasted crafting the perfect deck, only to drown in silence or polite rejections. Nobody promised this part would be easy. Most people tell you it's all about who you know. And yeah, that hurts. Because what if you don't know anyone? What if you're starting fresh with zero connections, zero offers for intros, zero open doors? The pressure slams down harder when all you have is your idea, your hustle, your dream, and a giant mountain of noise to climb over where everyone else has better access, better networks, better handshakes. It scrapes at your confidence. It mocks your ambition. It threatens to make you believe you're invisible. But here's the brutal truth no one wants to admit. The world isn't built just on warm intros. The system loves to sell that story because it keeps you dependent on gatekeepers. It keeps you playing by their rules. The rules made to control who gets to shine and who stays stuck behind locked doors. The reality? You can raise millions without one warm intro, not because it's easy, but because the game can be hacked. The landscape can be shifted, not by waiting, not by hoping, but by taking raw, calculated ownership of the edges where no one dares to go. This isn't about charm or luck. It's about ruthless strategy, fierce clarity, and unleashing something so powerful that it breaks through the noise no matter what. You're not alone in this. So many founders, investors, and leaders out there are trapped in this endless cycle, waiting for a nod from the right people, spinning in circles, lost in useless multitudes of cold outreach that never clicks. The pain? It's real. It's soul-crushing when you know your idea could change everything, but it's stuck behind invisible walls built from networks you don't have. The loneliness creeps in, the whispered doubt, the question, am I enough? Am I seen? The deeper truth, what you lack isn't connections alone. It's access to the right mindset and the right formulas that break through. So let's throw out the old playbook right now. No more waiting. No more grinding on guesswork. The first damn truth is this. No investor, no funder anywhere invests in cold noise. If you want millions, you need to stop screaming into the void and start crafting signal that's magnetic, impossible to ignore, and most importantly, relatable on a human, primal level. This isn't about showing off your fancy pitch deck or a flashy prototype. It's about weaving your story, your vision, your why into a thread that cuts through the bullshit filters everyone's exhausted with. You must become that rare beacon in the flood of sameness, not by chance, but by design. One of the most overlooked weapons in the arsenal is deep empathy, combined with hyper-specific value. Investors don't want broad pitches where we'll disrupt everything. They crave simplicity, clarity, and proof that you get their world intimately. So stop fishing blindly. Instead, target. Pick a handful of investors who actually align with your vision and background. Research like you're Sherlock Holmes on a life mission. Every call, every message, every minute spent must convey you understand exactly what keeps them awake at night, and more importantly, how your solution lights up their pathway to return on investment like a spotlight. Here's where zero warm intros suddenly becomes irrelevant. You are no longer asking for a favor. You are offering an opportunity. When communication flips from desperate, please notice me, to confident, here's what you're missing if you don't pay attention, you break through like a rocket. This takes patience, hours of homework, cold outreach that isn't robotic spam, but deeply personalized, grounded in what you uncovered about their true needs. You don't snake your way in. You build a bridge with undeniable value bricks. Another powerful truth, networking isn't what you think it is. It's not about collecting business cards or adding random LinkedIn contacts. It's about creating micro connections that build trust. So if you start with zero warm intros, build your own ecosystem of micro trust points. Share thoughtful insights in niche communities where investors hang out online. Comment with real ideas on their posts. Offer introductions to people you know. Even if small, it shows you're a connector. This creates ripples of awareness. Over weeks and months, You become a credible signal in the noise. Then, when you do cold reach out directly, it's to eyes already familiar with your name and your voice from multiple touch points. No longer cold, but semi-warm, seeded by your effort. Most importantly, success without warm intros demands relentless focus on preparation and perfection on your deck, financial model, and story arc. But not perfection to impress, perfection to prove that you're serious, credible, prepared to win. Back your pitch with data that cuts like a laser, milestones that show traction, and a vision that's both awe-inspiring and grounded in reality. Your deck must feel like a meeting, not a brochure. Direct, punchy, honest, and emotionally resonant. Every slide answering the question, why me? Why now? Why you? Investors love founders who understand their time is sacred. Respect that, and you're halfway there. Now, the emotional core lies in your mindset. Without warm intros, rejection stings sharper. Your inbox might look like a desert. So many moments where the world feels like it's saying no to your dreams. But remember, this is the fire that forges legends. The rare few who raise millions without warm intros are not the lucky. They are the stubborn ones who refuse to fold. They burned with obsession over the craft of reaching people as humans, not just targets. They transformed rejection into feedback, silence into strategy, invisibility into presence. You have to love the struggle, because it's your secret weapon. The discomfort means you're moving in the right direction, not standing still. If you're serious, and this isn't for the faint-hearted, go deeper. Surround yourself with a network of other founders and investors who get this pain and share the hunger. Exchange cold outreach scripts that worked, insight into investor behavior that others miss, and stories of breakthrough moments from the trenches. This radical alignment with others who dare means you'll never be isolated. This is what turns misalignment into synergy, confusion into clarity. In fact, don't just build any network. Build a network of the intensely aligned few. Not easy connections, but deep, selective, mutually fierce relationships where each person's fire feeds the other. That's where millions start flowing. Because money isn't just about capital. It's about shapes flashing in the dark, sparks connecting into wildfires. It's about potential meeting readiness on levels beyond portfolios and seats at the table. You want millions? Be the wildfire. Be the outlaw refusing the old map and creating new paths where others see dead ends. Finally, channel your frustration into transformation. Your zero warm intros are not your weakness. They are the proof you're not owned by any system, no ruler, no status quo. You are raw power and innovation waiting to explode. Every no you don't fold under is a brick shattered in the prison of old ways. Every cold outreach perfected is a shout that the future belongs not to the comfort seekers, but the wild hearts who forge their own destiny. Millions aren't just numbers in a bank. They are your liberation from the noise, your currency to build the infrastructures where the exceptional thrive. So stop begging for warm intros and start owning your pipeline. Nail your story so deeply that strangers become believers within seconds. Target investors with ruthless clarity, speak to their souls, build micro trust points before you even ask for money. Prepare like your future depends on it, because it does. Thrive in rejection like a warrior. Create a brotherhood of relentless few who'll break every barrier to get you there. This is how millions get raised when there are zero warm intros. Not by magic, by raw, unfuckwithable strategy and a refusal to be invisible ever again. The world isn't waiting for the comfortable anymore. It's waiting for those crazy enough to burn bright. If you stand fiercely in your truth, command your share, and craft connections like a master, the money will come. And it will come loud and proud. This is your moment to rise from cold silence into a tsunami of unstoppable momentum. This is how legends are made without a single warm intro.